Start it up. All right, so we are here for, I'm pretty sure, episode 5 of Results by Riles. We are here with my guy Clive. So start me off, Clive, right? Walk me through kind of who you are, like where you're from, what you do, just kind of a little bit about yourself, man.
My name's Clive. I've been around Wheeling for a long time now, almost most of my life. Right now I work at the Olive Garden. I'm hoping, to start electrician stuff soon, join an apprenticeship, stuff like that. That's about it, pretty much. I don't know.
Cool. So walk everyone through, Clive, kind of what made you first reach out to me? Obviously, we're here because we're getting some great fitness results, but why'd you first reach out to me when it comes to just working together fitness-wise, man?
Well, it helps. I've known you for a while, since we were like 9 or whatever.
Yeah,
it's been a long time. But fitness is always something that I've wanted to do. It's always something that I wanted to take seriously, and I just didn't really know how. I didn't know what direction to go in, what stuff to do, stuff like that.
Yeah, and what made you maybe reach out to me when it comes to getting help with your fitness?
When I reached out to you, you had already been kind of established, had some good results, and that was really motivating, to see other people do well under the program.
Yeah.
So that encouraged me to finally reach out, and just throughout the long time I've known you, you've been probably the most experienced in fitness that I personally know,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like that combination of just me knowing, obviously, being in shape, being in sports, but you see that obviously I'm in the gym all the time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And walk me through, so maybe before we started working together, when exactly did you kind of decide this was something that you actually wanted to take serious?
It had been back in high school. I had taken a few lifting classes, but I never really took it all that seriously. You know, I never really, I guess, put in the grind, if that makes sense. I enjoyed lifting, it was a lot of fun, but it was never something that I really took to heart.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, and I guess what made you maybe decide it was something you wanted to take to heart and really make a part of your life,
Just I just didn't really like where I was at fitness-wise. You know, I wanted help getting to my goals, getting to liking the way that I looked, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And then before we do kind of get into where we are right now, walk me some people through where was that moment at for you where you were kind of in a situation where you weren't necessarily happy? What was that kind of like for you in terms of almost the other end of where you weren't necessarily happy?
I was, me and my girlfriend, we would go out to the beach or go swimming or something, and I was really skinny. I didn't like taking off my shirt, I didn't like getting in that pool, showing off my rib cage, stuff like that. And it was always something that deep down I was subconscious about, even though I tried to hide it, But it was always a worry of mine, people look at me and think people at work, would tell me that I need to eat more, stuff like that. And that's bothersome, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, for sure. And I know for me, I think the hardest part for me was I think it was for me just being somebody that was always super disciplined. When I did get out of shape after sports, the hardest part for me was knowing I low-key lost my edge. I lost that discipline. I couldn't look at myself and say I'm a disciplined person.
Yeah.
When it comes to my physique, when it comes to my body, when it comes to the way I look. What was for you think, the hardest part of not necessarily liking the way you were? Because I was at the other end of where you're at. I was overweight. I was 60 pounds overweight. And for me, the hardest part was saying, it's my fault. I am overweight, out of shape, because I was not disciplined, right? And what for you was kind of the hardest part of being where you were at?
The hardest part was I'd say looking at pictures of myself, seeing how small and skinny I was, And then like there was a vacation with me and my girlfriend where like even her family members were like telling me that like I could gain some weight.
Yeah.
And that's just like, it is embarrassing. You know?
For
like
sure.
being that small and skinny and stuff.
Yeah, and walk me through like at your maybe lightest for you, where were you kind of at like with the part of your physique where like maybe at your worst, like weight wise and everything?
My lightest, I never really kept up with my weight because I was always kind of like insecure of it, if that makes sense. But I was around like 112, 115.
Yeah.
And that's like very underweight. Like I would go to the hospital and like they would tell me that I'm underweight, like stuff like that. For
sure. And you know, when it does look into to get and almost be in a position where you're like, okay, I do need to make a change. I'm not happy with where I am right now, the way that I look, my fitness levels. Mm-hmm. When it does come to maybe reaching out to get help, what were maybe some of those concerns that you did have when it came to actually getting help, you know, when it comes to your fitness?
Just like, kind of like embarrassment, you know, like I was kind of afraid to get help, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to let people in on like how I felt about myself, stuff like that. And then just like direction, I guess. Like I didn't really know who to ask or where to go, stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, and that's a big thing that I do see is like a lot of times it's like, especially because I work with a lot of guys, it's like we have to, you know, put our ego to the side. Even with me, someone who knows a lot about fitness, I had to put my ego to the side and say, I messed up, you know, hey, my fault, you know, my fault, but also, hey, my fault that I'm going to actually like take action, right? So like, what made you decide to actually like, despite, you know, maybe not wanting to get help sometimes, I don't want to let people in, like what made you decide to take the action despite maybe some of those concerns?
I just like finally wanted to make a change, you know, I wanted to look good with my shirt off at that beach, you know, stuff like that. I wanted to feel better about myself. You know, something just crossed the line. I decided now is the time to get help, you know?
Oh yeah. Was there like a certain moment for you that like was like, okay, something needs to happen?
Just pictures, like I said, you know, like I would see pictures of myself and I'm like really frail, really skinny, you know, and I didn't like being that person, you know, I didn't want to be that person forever. I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to go to the beach and like be subconscious about myself while I'm there, you know?
100%. And walk me through, just as of like maybe this week, what's our weight right now?
My weight right now, I'm chilling about like 120, 121, which isn't, you know, it's not a big difference.
But hey, it's 9 pounds of muscle mass difference, right?
I mean, even that small difference, you know, I see the difference every day. Every day I look at myself, I see it.
Yeah, and that's in just a short bout, but you know, that's in literally just a couple months of difference. And we have another, you know, 6 months that we're going to be together. So it's like we're going to be 20, 30 pounds difference. It's like even 9 pounds, 3x that is where we're going to be, right? So I mean, walk me through how you feel now, just from now as opposed to before.
I feel like much better, you know. I look at myself and I like my image more, you know. I feel more confident, like with my shirt off. It's to the point where I like to have my shirt off.
Yeah,
honestly,
let's go,
I
dude.
like showing myself off. You know, like I feel like just the small differences I made are huge. You know.
Yeah. And what do you think like day to day is different? Because like I feel like a lot of times like fitness, you know, it's just some big transformation. But like day to day, like what do you notice now is different from before?
Like I feel healthier, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, I feel better about myself, and you know, like at work and stuff, I can lift heavier things easier.
Yeah.
It boosts me up because people will like ask me to lift stuff, you know, and that's a confidence boost, you know. Just stuff like that, you know. Being stronger, being more fit, stuff like that. It's really nice.
Yeah, man. And walk me through like maybe since like kind of gaining some weight and putting on some muscle mass and just kind of transforming the way that you look, like walk me through kind of like maybe the best moment you've had since we kind of went on this journey together, bro.
Me and my girlfriend, we went to Bonnaroo this past coming
Where's
Bonnaroo. It's in Tennessee.
Okay,
Tennessee.
cool.
Yeah, it's a big music festival. And, like, I don't know, I was going around shirtless the whole time because, you know, it's hot down there.
Yeah.
And, like, I felt good. Like,
Dude,
I felt good,
go.
like, showing myself off, stuff like that, you know? Like, every time we're at the beach, at the pool, swimming, stuff like that, I like my image now, you know? I feel good about showing myself off, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I this is something that like I've just started to notice recently. Like, walk me through like what it's like mentally knowing like after working together for a few months, and then now after going to be together for another 6 months, we're deciding to keep working together. Mm-hmm. What's it like knowing, right, 6 months from now, not only you're going to be exactly where you want to be, but you're going to know how to keep that? Like, walk me through mentally how it knows, knowing like you're not going to have to struggle with this anymore.
Like, that is, like, huge. Like, it's almost not a worry of mine at all anymore because, you know, like you said, I feel like this course, this progression we've had, like, fills me with the knowledge to keep going. Like, even after we're done, you know, it gives me what I need to, like, keep succeeding fitness-wise and, like, keep the good image of myself, you know?
Yeah, completely. And walk me through, like, obviously, like, we know about the fitness program, the training and the nutrition and the accountability, but maybe walk some people through, like, what it's like having somebody there with you to show you exactly what to do, lay it all out for you, and be there for you versus maybe having to do it kind of on your own and figure it out and go through the day, trial and error. Like, why has that been maybe more helpful than having to do the struggle on your own?
It's incredibly helpful. Like, knowing that there's, like, someone who will answer my questions, someone who will help, you know, like, when I need something, it's, like, incredibly helpful. Like, because I had gone to the gym not very often before this, and I just solely relied on, like, stuff I saw on the internet, but, like, to meet my personal needs and, like, know that there's somebody who wants to help me meet my personal needs, that's, like, it's awesome. It really is very helpful.
Yeah, and walk, like, maybe, like, how has like it been to kind of have, like, maybe, like, weekly check-ins and, like, have access to somebody that actually can cater to you, not only just answer questions, but, like, change your program based on your needs.
Mm-hmm. That's, like, again, it's incredibly helpful. You know, it's like it's catered to me. It meets my needs, all my goals. You know, and like it just helps a lot.
Yes, that's it, right? Like, I always say, like, the biggest thing is it's if we truly just wanted information, we'd all be on ChatGPT and we would just read it one time and we would never have to get help again, right? But it's like, we need the information, but more importantly, we need to be able to apply it, right? We need to be able to take the information, apply it to us, but not just apply it, because we can sit there and apply it and make a great program, but we need to be mentally in a position to actually do it and show up every day, and I think that's what a lot of people miss, right? So how has it been, more so than just fitness-wise, mentally having someone to, like, actually hold you accountable versus just like, oh, I'll make sure I do it?
I'd say it's, like, honestly one of the best parts of the program is like to know, like, on a day like today, you know, you texted me, you're like, hey, you all good, man? You know, to know that there's, like, someone there, like, encouraging you, supporting you, you know, like, that's incredible. Like, it is really nice to know that there's, like, someone who cares, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, and maybe, like, what would you maybe say, moving forward? Obviously, our goals are continue gaining muscle mass, continue gaining weight, and just continuing to just improve upon where we've already gained. We've already gained, about 10 pounds within our time together. We're going to probably continue to gain even more. What would you maybe tell somebody, like, it was in a similar position as you, maybe nervous about signing up, maybe nervous about asking for help? So as a guy, it's we have to literally say, I can't do it on my own. Like, that's hard for us as guys, because we want to be that guy and to say, I need help. Like, what would you maybe tell someone who's in a similar position as you?
I'd just tell them, like, don't be afraid to reach out, like, some things you really can't do on your own, some things you do really need help with, and, like, you shouldn't be afraid to ask somebody like you or somebody else for help, like something like that.
Yeah, and I think it's important to just also say, and that's why I do these, is because I could sit here and say, oh, my program's the best. Like, we know I love my program, right? Like, it's mine. But to me, like, I think to also say, hey, I personally been through it. I know what it's like to not be, in a position where I like how I look. Other people have been in that same position, and it's like at some point we can want, but the difference between want and are action. It's do, right? The difference between want and are is do, right? Yeah. It's like there's people that everyone wants to be in shape, everyone wants the body, everyone wants the great physique, but it's like it doesn't matter if we want it. It matters what we're going to do to get it, right? And really, the first thing we have to do to get it is say, my fault, right? And then we have to say my fault, but also it's going to be your fault when you do get the physique. And yeah, you can have help, but it's somebody to guide your own action, right? And that's a beautiful thing, right? So maybe what would you say, like, just in terms of obviously having somebody in your position, you would say definitely, reach out and get the help. In terms of maybe me specifically, what would you say to somebody considering working with me specifically that was maybe on the fence?
I would say, like, you are, like, a very good coach. Like, every question I've ever had has been answered in like short amount of time. Like I can text you at like 2-3 in the morning and you'll respond. Like it's awesome. Like just knowing that there's someone that holds like almost all the answers I need really, and like I said earlier, you text me almost every day, checking up, just making sure everything's going well. Multiple times, we've changed the program to fit different needs, stuff like that. It's really awesome, like having someone who's like that passionate and like cares that much for me,
I appreciate it, man. And, at the end of the day, like, again, it's all, I always say, like, the point of these, not calls, but, interviews, the point of everything I do is like, it comes down to that pure thing of like, I want to help guys get in shape. It's like, because I know what it's like, right? And it's like, I've lucked out that I had all the knowledge to get in shape. I just wasn't applying it, right? Yeah. And for me to, be in a position where I've been through the struggles of being too skinny, I've been overweight multiple times. I've had to learn all the bullshit, right, for years and years and years. And it's like, I'm in a position where I'm able to help people, and like that's what it comes down to, right? Like we just want to all be better guys, better men, better people for ourselves. We want to show up at work better. We want to show up for our relationships and all that, right? And that's what it comes down to, man. And is there anything else maybe you have for the guy in your position, the guy that's nervous about signing up, the guy who's telling himself he doesn't have the time, the guy who's telling himself, oh, I'm going to do it then? Like, do you have anything for that guy that what you would tell him?
I would say like you can do it. Like, I like to think I'm a busy individual. I work a lot. I have a relationship. I do a lot of stuff throughout my day. But even I can find the time, to get the workouts in. I can find the time to get these meals in, and like you really can do it if you want to. If you apply the knowledge given, it's an obtainable goal. It is something that you can achieve.
Yeah, and I love it, and I think that's why it's important for me to have guys like this on here. It's like, I can tell you it all day. I'm in great shape. I'm a personal trainer. I'm, exercise science college guy. But the reason I bring people on here is because I want you to hear it from other people who are in your same scenario, who took action and are now in a position where you probably would like to be. Why? Because they decided to actually do something about their situation, right? So it's my guy Clive. He's crushing it. We got like 6 more months literally to grind, and we're gonna absolutely crush it. But it's my guy Clive. I appreciate it, bro. Let's do a little handshake. My guy Clive. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.